Tuddle.
Yeah, I know. Yep, we got it. I think we are on now. Are we on? I think we are. Hello. I think we are just waiting for the thumbs up from the one and only Vulture. You see what Vulture's got going on. Just waiting for us to be live. Live, ready to go. Give me a thumbs up, Mr. Vulture. See, you even got a half-baked poster in the background as well, too.
I do. Yeah.
Just waiting to go live. Are we going live? Yes. Yes, we are live. All right, guys, welcome. Welcome to another edition of the Tuddle Daily Podcast live stream. This is like a Sunday edition. I can't call it morning coffee talk because, you know, there is a big difference in time from here to Montana. Now, Charlie, the one and only Charlie Alamo is joining me. Charlie, got a quick question. How are you only 2 hours behind when I would think Montana would be 3 hours behind? Like, is Montana one of those states that has 2 time zones?
No. The time zone changes in Idaho. That's where it'd be 3 hours.
Idaho is one of those like states that we all forget about. Like Idaho, I forget about Idaho all the time as a state.
It's shaped like a pipe.
Yeah, it is. It is kind of. So
they hate weed there. So
they do.
Shaped like a.
Now I know they're big into potatoes. Would they be okay if like you made a potato bong out of like some weed?
No, they would be more happy if you made potato vodka.
Potato vodka. So this is something that myself and Charlie Alamo want to start doing on Sundays. Because we're gonna start at noon. Do you got your coffee? I'm
getting some coffee going right now.
Oh! All right. So what is that?
It's actually Pinnacle's Public Radio vodka. I gimmicked it up a little bit. We'll throw some of that in there.
Andy Bachelor, T-Bone, Iggy T is on right now. A little bit of orange juice, or is that grapefruit? That looks like grapefruit juice.
I wish it was grapefruit juice. I'd actually prefer it. It's a pineapple orange juice.
Man. So something that me and Charlie, you know, I had done coffee talk a little while ago with myself, and you know, a lot of people hear Charlie Alamo on, and I wanted to bring Charlie Alamo on to discuss some of the topics, kind of like a weekend or weekly review type thing of things that happened this week. And one of the first things, don't forget, hey, we are now on Super Chat. People can donate money to the Tuddle Daily Podcast. And I don't want you guys to think like I'm becoming a panhandler like some people do. No, well, I kind of am, but at least I'm only mentioning it. Go ahead.
What studio are you in today?
I'm in the PT Cruiser studio today because the Ford F-150 needs to be taken to the shop, and I haven't had time to be able to get it there. Mark Bloom, how about them, bro? Yeah, we'll get into that. Browns. See, that's the only thing about doing this on Zoom is I can't see the chat. So Vulture is having to send me messages to let me know what's going on. How about them Browns? I don't know.
How about them?
Amy Sinha says it's nice to see Charlie. Amy is the voiceover chick that I've been talking to over in Wales. And we've been discussing this. I know you probably don't follow tennis that much, but did you see that 18-year-old chick, Emma Raducanu, ended up winning? She's from Great Britain.
No, I stopped watching tennis when Billie Jean King retired.
Did you ever watch the Billie Jean King movie that they did?
Made for TV movie?
No. It was starred the chick that was in the, well, see, this is see, we always like interconnect and we don't even mean to, but Andrew Garfield was in the Amazing Spider-Man movies. And the one chick that played what's her face in the second ones with Andrew Garfield. She was also in La La Land, the redhead.
Emma Stone.
Emma Stone. Yeah.
Okay.
So Emma Stone was in the Billie Jean King movie, and Billie Jean King was there, and a lot of people didn't know like she was hetero when she first started, or was she really hetero? Because she was hooking up with her hairdresser in the movie. That's what they made it seem like.
Oh, well, it makes sense. Hairdressers have had a long-standing relationship with their clients in Hollywood
Yeah, I
and other
know.
sports, I guess.
But speaking of this week, there were two big movie trailers that came out, and
Mhm.
I asked you to watch the two. Did you have a chance to
Yes,
watch the two movie trailers? All right, first
I
let's start off with the Matrix. I want to get your
okay.
initial thoughts on it.
Um, little confused that Doogie Howser's in it. I don't know
Mhm.
what role he plays, but I thought that it seems like he doesn't know that he's in the Matrix, but didn't he know that he was in? I don't know. The only thing that I want to bring up that I think everybody should acknowledge is how youthful Keanu Reeves looks. Are they? He's the literally de-aged human himself. He doesn't. They don't need to go back and retouch anything on him.
No, but what is up with the John? Is he still in the middle of like filming another John Wick movie? Because it looks nothing but like John Wick and
Hmm.
Matrix crossover, in my opinion, with the long hair and the beard.
You know what? You bring up a good point. That's the first thing I thought, especially when they have that scene of him jumping off the roof. I thought that was just, what is this, John Wick Neo now? They just want to, because he's basically, it looked like the same kind of character, just a different name after seeing
Yeah.
the John Wick movies.
Now, I will say the one thing. Now, the John Wick movies are way over the top, but the John Wick
Yeah.
movies, they're very realistic. Have you ever noticed, like, if you look, like, if he's shooting with like a gun and it only has 12 rounds in it, like he only gets 12 shots. Like if you go back, they make it's not like every other like action movie where they have the cheat code of being able to fire unlimited bullets.
Yeah,
Uh
the unlimited clips. That's
Tom
not fun.
Delaney, $1.99 super chat. Thank you, Tom
Oh,
Delaney. Really
wow.
appreciate that. But yeah, no, I think that's realistic. Have you ever seen the YouTube videos of Keanu Reeves doing like his gun training?
No, I haven't, but I know that he likes guns. So, I mean, how that also kind of helps somebody that actually goes and shoots instead of a lot of these actors you can tell that have never shot a gun or anything like that because they hold them weird and it's just unnerving. I can't
Now,
I had a great example, but it just went right out of my head.
while you're drinking vodka, what time is it right there in Montana right now? You're drinking vodka
It's
and orange juice.
it's 10:13. It's early and late at the same time.
Well, I can't talk. Back in the day, man, I would I would already be like 10 shots of vodka in the hole when I was on Bubba's show.
Yeah. Back in the day to get some stunt boy courage. Speaking of that, I wanted to bring up a point. Are you still going to go through with your stunt? Well, we can't call it a stunt boy lawsuit, but your stunt individual lawsuit that you're going to head up, your class action lawsuit.
I mean, I mean it's a great
You
point. I mean,
you got a
over
lot of
the
grievances.
and I never went to the hospital for one single stunt that I ever did.
No, that's embarrassing to go to a hospital for a stunt unless you're bleeding.
Oh, dude, there's a lot of stunts where I have been bleeding. I did
I
go to the
well,
I did go to the doctor 2 days earlier or later to get blood thinners because they were worried about all the clots, blood clots that could have like went to my brain or my heart from getting shot up with airsoft guns while I was passed out after drinking a fifth of Jack Daniels in about 30
yeah,
minutes.
that's not the stunt that always comes to mind. I still don't understand how you could do any sort of how would you clean this up? Well, basically you did
Rectal things,
yeah,
rectal.
you did the only stunt that Bubba deemed to take down. You know what I mean? Like he's like, that's too far. Even then,
David Hernandez says, yo, David H, how are you, buddy? But so back to the Matrix trailer. What do
Yes.
you think about them using the song White Rabbit? Like, I really do think that that was a little overkill. I mean, for one, how did
Hmm.
was it Jefferson Airplane that did that song back in the, or who
Yes.
was? Okay. So, like, how did they not get sued by Alice in Wonderland? Because they basically did a song about Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah. I don't know because I don't think they. I don't. I actually, that's a good point. It's not like they referenced. Um. Well, they did reference a bunch of shit. I don't. You know
Caterpillars,
what? Yeah. I think.
mushrooms, blue
Why
pill,
couldn't
one
you write?
pill.
Why couldn't you write a song about that? They do it. Look at when they get James Bond stuff. They commission those people to write songs about James Bond. So why wouldn't you be able to just write a song about anything? I mean, if you wanted to write a song about a movie or something like that, I think you could be able to do that, shouldn't you?
Yeah. Yeah, it just, I mean, I don't know. And then they were
Now I'm
harping,
confused.
now they were harping on the blue pill and red pill. And I got to tell you, looking at Neo's eyes after taking the blue pill, I want the blue pill. The blue pill, like, made his pupils really, really small. Or do you want your pupils to be really, really big? Small pupils mean you're on uppers, right?
I would think, yeah, because they're usually pinned back, tiny little pupils.
But the red pill look like, it's like I want the one that's going to alter my reality. You know what? Screw the red pill. I want the blue pill. I don't want to know what's really, really going on. I just want to be high.
Both of them look like capsules you could easily just go pop and open them up.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. We've all done that. No waiting on the runway, brother.
Yeah, got to get those gimmicks in.
Well, I worked with some radio people that with the Adderall, you would open up the beads, and I'm definitely not talking about Bubba. Talking about other people that talk about smoking just marijuana and not wanting to be on the other psychotropic drugs or whatever. If you know
Fez
what I'm talking
Whatley?
about. No, 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 no. I'm talking about people that play multiple. Well, I mean, Fez Whatley did play multiple characters. I'm talking about other people that I recently worked with that play multiple characters that are hypocrites when it comes to drugs.
Well, some people are. I mean, I've always just been open about what I do because I don't do much.
Yeah. But back to the 18-year-old Emma Raducanu. She gained like 400,000 new followers. She's 18 years old. She just won a check for $2.5 million by winning the US Open in tennis. Now this could go one way or the other, right? At 18, all these big celebrities are now following her and everything. Do you think, like, what are the chances of this being a one-off thing, her getting celebrity accolades and then just becoming like a Drew Barrymore back in the day?
What do you mean? Like too big for her britches type
Well,
thing?
just partying, just getting
Oh,
into the lifestyle, not concentrating on her athletic ability.
I think that if she was in like movies or something like that, yeah, that would be more of a vice. But being in sports, she's probably a little more driven to be competitive and stuff like that. Who knows though? You know what I mean? Everybody dabbles in something, but I think she would be more inclined to be focused on tennis, so it would kind of take a back seat.
Yeah.
Whereas
Um,
movie stars, they got a lot of free time. There's a lot of downtime in between shooting movies.
yeah. I know we're all over the place, but back to the Matrix trailer. I did
Oh
not know
God.
this. I did not know this.
Hmm.
The Wachowski brothers were the original creators of the Matrix trilogy. And then I saw Lana Wachowski and I was like, "Oh, cool. They handed it off to their daughters and stuff." And you told me something that was very, very interesting that I did not know about.
Yeah, you didn't know that they are women now. They
So
have been
they
for some time.
really, really, but
Yeah.
why did they only mention Lana Wachowski and did not mention the other Wachowski?
I don't know if the other one does a lot anymore. Or one of them might be dead, actually. You know what? I probably should have looked that up before I got on here. Now I feel kind of stupid. But I know that
Uh
they that she transitioned some years ago. It had to have been around. like maybe 10 years ago or 12 years ago. It's been some time. But yeah, you slowly started noticing that the name changed. And I was like, who's that? Who's Lana? I thought there was like, yeah, like you said, maybe a daughter or a relative of theirs. Nope.
I was like, cool, man. They're handing it off to the next generation, maybe a daughter, because like, don't you think that sometimes they wait a little bit too long to do a follow-up movie sometimes?
Yeah, a lot of times. I mean, speaking of Keanu, look at the Bill and Ted movie. You know what I mean? I think that's actually how he got younger. He sucked all the life out of Alex Winter.
Alex Winter does look like I swear to God, he does not look good for his, like he didn't age very, very well.
Not when you got Keanu standing there who looks like a sculpture of a person. His face has not changed in years. It's gotten actually better. If you go back and watch Babes in Toyland, Keanu, speaking of Drew Barrymore, and then you go and watch him now, all he did was just get a little older. He looks way better.
Yeah. Don't forget, right now, you are watching the Tuddle Daily Podcast live stream with myself and the one and only Charlie Alamo. You can follow him on Twitter, Real Lame Charlie. So,
Yeah.
and if you guys want to super chat, you can easily do that. Any of the money that you guys donate is going to build the studio right there in the shed here. Did we talk about this or not? About the guy that owns the park this week, trying to, keep the door open when we sent the rent check in. He came up and he knocked on the door. It's the middle of the day. You've lived in Florida before, like once you let the cold air out of a house, it's hard to keep up with the heat. And I went to close the door because he said, well, your mom, kind of messed up on the check and I needed to rewrite it. And I went to close the door and he grabbed the door and would not let me close it. And I was like, living in the state of Florida, that's a big no, right?
Yes, absolutely. I would have slammed his hand in the door. I don't care if he's a landlord or not.
Yeah, it was really, really weird thing. That was one of the things I dealt with. Now I want to talk a little bit about football before we get into, because I know people are going to tune out at 1:00, especially because of the first weekend of NFL football.
Yes.
Montana does not have a National Football League team. So, like, who do you guys root for? The Seahawks, or like what do most people in Montana root for?
Yeah, I would say Seahawks as of late. I mean, there's still a lot of Bronco fans and Packer fans and Viking fans. So there's a few, and Raider fans for some reason because of the 70s and shit like that, I guess.
Well, they're also in Vegas now.
Yeah, now I would be a fan of them, but these are people that have been fans of them even when they sucked. So, but I'm a Jet fan, so I know about teams that suck.
Are you more of a college football guy or
No.
a NFL football guy?
I don't really watch a lot of either, but I'd rather watch NFL. I don't really like college, although everybody here has been crazy because Montana beat Washington last week.
Well, you want to talk about embarrassments of teams you lose to. Did you see FSU lost to Jacksonville State, which is a Division II college? The Seminoles. Yeah, they lost to Jacksonville State. They are now. They are 0-2.
Morale builder.
No, wow. It's definitely not. Now FSU is 0-2 to start out the season. The Gators ended up winning their game, but there's a big quarterback controversy. This one guy has been waiting like 2 years to start, but now they got this freshman. He went to high school in Gainesville, which is where the University of Florida is at, and the guy is just playing lights out. Like, I mean, you got to go with the hot hand, right? Like, I mean, just as a college football coach, the ones that are getting paid millions, yeah, I feel bad for the guy that's been waiting his time. But if the young blood is like much better, you got to go with him, right?
I think you have to until he messes up or gets hurt. Which it sucks. That happens to a lot of A lot of people in college, though. That's why they transfer out, or yeah, that's usually why they transfer out.
I see your White Sox flag in the background there.
It's a blanket.
It's a blanket. One of my favorite, the White Sox. The reason I was a big Nolan Ryan fan. Robin Ventura charging the mound against Nolan Ryan back when he was like 45, still
Yeah,
pitching. And Robin Ventura, rookie year, comes out. He thinks he's going to charge the mound on this old dude, and he just gets the ever living shit beat out of him.
it's pretty great. I actually met Robin Ventura because my dad used to work for the White Sox. That's how I got that
Oh, no
blanket and a
kidding.
bunch of other shit. Yeah. So I met him, Frank Thomas, Ray Durham, a lot of the early.
What about Bo?
Or,
Bo Jackson played for the Sox for a while too,
yeah.
didn't he?
Yes, he didn't work for him then. He worked for him from 98 to 2002 or 3. Then he went to go work for the Eagles for a while. But yeah, I met a lot of those players, super nice dudes. A lot of the pitchers a lot of the relief pitchers were some of the coolest people ever. They just hang out and bullshit with you. And as a kid, that was awesome.
Yeah, I always heard about from White Sox to Red Sox, like the bullpen pitchers used to hit beers and stuff in the bullpen,
Yeah.
while they were waiting. And I was like, you know what? That's probably something I would have done back in the day.
Oh, hell yeah. John Lester was a starting pitcher, and they had reports coming out that he was having beers and eating fried chicken in the clubhouse on days that he wasn't pitching. He wasn't even coming out of the dugout. That's awesome. And he'd still go out there and throw 9 innings.
Baseball and golf are the one sport or two sports that you can just be way out of shape. John Daly might have been one of my favorite of all time. The guy would drink like 18 Diet Cokes in a day, not including the liquor that he would probably add to it.
Oh, yeah.
Smoked cigarettes before he teed off, and was probably one of the biggest drivers of all time.
There's that iconic picture of him too, kissing his wife, and you see the guy streaking behind him that's got an arrow
the
pointing down to
19th
his
hole.
ass.
Yeah,
that
he
is
has
iconic as hell. Those two, they're both wearing windbreaker. That wife of his wearing a pink windbreaker, and he's smooching up on her, and you see this naked guy running and a cop behind him chasing it.
Yeah, and he's got 19th hole written with an arrow down to
his ass.
Yeah. Speaking of windbreakers and stuff, that kind of brings me back. I know we're going back to movies. The Eyes of Tammy Faye, the trailer.
Yes.
Now, I'm actually really, really interested about this one.
I am too.
Jim and Tammy Faye Baker. What do you think about their choices as actors for Jimmy and Tammy Faye Baker?
I think they're great. Garfield looks perfect as those squirrely Jim Baker, and Jessica Chastain is perfect as Tammy Faye too. I didn't realize that Michael Showalter was the guy that directed it, so it's going to be a fantastic movie.
Yeah. Now, did you have any sympathy for Tammy Faye towards the end when she was doing the surreal life stuff? Remember when she was like, I think that was the best thing that could have happened for her, because it actually gave her a little bit of sympathy, in my opinion.
Yeah, at least she didn't go back to hawking Jesus and selling those pre-made meals in a tub now like Jim Baker's doing. That he's got no shame, that guy.
Dude, what's his face? The guy from Houston, Texas. Who's that big mega church guy?
Oh, the smiling pastor, the Olstein or whatever.
Yeah, Joel Osteen. I cannot stand him. He is the biggest, smarmiest, guy I absolutely hate. I mean, he is the poster child for everything I hate about religion.
I saw a tweet the other day about him, and somebody put, does anybody else notice that Olstein looks like Martin Short playing Tim Allen? and the picture of him going like this with his hands in the air pointing up, it looked so perfect. It made me laugh for a good 5 minutes because I could not get that sight out of my head. Marty Short is Tim Allen.
Yeah, they did a interview. Willy Geist does the Today Show like on Sundays, and he does interviews, and they interviewed Martin Short and Steve Martin Do you think that was a
Yes.
great comedy duo at one point?
Yeah, they were okay. I only like Steve
Three
Martin for
Amigos, Three
was
Amigos,
good.
or Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
I would have to say Dirty Rotten Scoundrels because I like Michael Caine in that too. I thought he played the smarmy character. I mean, Three Amigos was really good. I liked Three Amigos as a kid, but as I got older, I like Dirty Rotten Scoundrels more because I liked early Steve Martin movies.
Did you see who is new to TikTok is Chevy Chase? Chevy Chase might have like fallen like more than any other one that you could think of. Like, right?
What?
Like,
As I have my Fletch box set right here.
no, but
Yeah, I like Chevy Chase. I loved him
no,
in
I
Dirty Work.
do. Yeah, he was great. But what I'm saying though is like when he was doing the show Community is where he went a little crazy.
I never watched that show. I don't like Joe McHale.
You don't like Joel McHale?
Not really.
Why? What about Joel McHale don't you like? Like I mean I went to his stand-up show and he sold out the Hard Rock and
That
it was a great show.
that's cool. I mean, I have appreciation for people that do stand up, but I just never. I don't know. I don't like his acting. I guess.
But they said that Chevy Chase used to use the N-word like nonstop on the set of
It,
Community.
and it was yeah, and it was to refer to white people.
Oh, it was? I didn't
I
know
don't
that.
know. No,
Oh,
I don't know.
oh, I was about
I'm
to
trying to
say,
help.
but
I'm trying to help Chevy out here. You're burying him. No, he buried
what
himself. I mean, look at that TV show that he did that failed. You know, they gave him the Chevy Chase show years later when he didn't
what
really
the talk
have
show,
any.
right?
Yeah, the one that he did in the '90s that was guaranteed to fail. I mean,
Didn't
look
it
at the people
last
that
only
they.
it only lasts like a month, didn't it?
Yeah, remember Charles Grodin had a short-lived show. They gave a lot of people who were decent actors shows for some reason.
I was watching on National Geographic, they've been having the 90s. They were talking, about how Bill Clinton went on Arsenio at the time was such a big deal that people don't even realize how that got him the black vote during that time.
Yes, if he would have just inhaled, the whole country would have loved him through anything.
Yeah, but I mean, he was the ultimate worker when you're talking about politicians, right?
He got the most out of being from Arkansas. That's for sure.
Yeah. One of the other things, speaking of Arkansas, reminds me of college football. Back to college football. Did
Oh
you
God.
see? Did you see the cat that they saved
Oh
at the
yes, I saw
Miami
that this
Hurricanes
morning.
game? Yeah,
How great was that? Some coked
It-
up dude in the stands caught that cat.
yeah, with an American flag on 9/11. But like, have you ever
So
noticed like
great.
how these cats end up in like professional like stadiums?
Well, I don't know how they end up there, but there is usually a cat or something because there's a lot of mice running around there. So if I was a cat, that's where I'd go hang out too.
But they're like they'll run like onto like soccer fields,
Fields.
they'll run onto baseball stadiums and everything. And this cat like and this guy like I never in a million years if a cat ended up falling out of the second floor or the upper deck of a stadium, would I ever pick that cat up? Because house cats will f you up like if you
Yes.
try to grab onto them when they're not happy.
But how about the gentleman had the wherewithal to actually catch the cat? If somebody hollered, a lot of people would have just put their hands up or not even done anything. I've been around so many drunk people, they would have just let the cat fall.
Yeah, cats can be mean as hell.
Yes.
Have you ever seen that one viral video of that guy at the Humane Society? Cats, for one thing, never put cats on a leash. Like, cats are just not made to be put on leashes. And they're doing like this news like segment, and they got a cat on the leash, and the cat just starts going crazy, and it climbs up the guy's leg and just bites him right in the balls and just starts scratching his crotch up. And I was like, now that's just a house cat. What about a bobcat? Now bobcats are pretty
Hmm.
big. Didn't Anthony Cumia have one of those big, humongous like cats? You know, I always think it looks really, really douchey. Like when you have those big, humongous, oversized cats that have been crossbred with like, you know
Yeah,
what I'm
no,
talking about.
he's got two Bengal cats, so they're really long and they're the bigger cats. They kind of look like little mountain lions. But yeah, it's actually funny that you bring that up. I went up to Lincoln the other day to go check up on my grandparents' place, so I stopped by one of my friends' house, and bow season had started. So a lot of my friends are out hunting elk and stuff like that. And a friend of mine was snuck up on a bull elk and a cow elk, and there was a little baby running around. And as soon as he draws back to get a shot, he looks over, and there's a tiny mountain lion cub
Oh,
stalking these elk. Then he's like, so I just stand there, and he's watching as it happens. The cat chases the elk off. He looks back again. The cat's mother comes up and is sitting next to this cub. So he's like, all right, I'm not fucking with this. He circles back around to try to get another shot at the elk, looks, and there's a big grizzly standing there in the woods. He's like, all right, I'm leaving for the day. He's like, I made a bunch of noise, so I scared the grizzly off, and I headed to home.
do they do like? I mean, having a bow is one thing, but if I would not go out in the
They carry a
wilderness
pistol
in
too.
Montana, yeah, exactly. Unless I got a
But
pistol
still,
or a gun or something, I'm not going into the wilderness in Montana.
no, there's a lot of wildlife, especially stuff that you would think that like moose. I'd be more worried if they're running, then they will fuck you up. Moose will
Oh,
burn you
moose.
with their spoons, and they don't give a shit. One
Now,
time, the highway patrolman that used to live up there smoked one in his car. He was lucky to be alive. It took the whole top of the roof off because it just went right underneath the moose.
there's one thing we talk about hitting Florida deer here. Florida deer aren't
Yeah,
anything like
no,
if
they're
you run.
stringy. They're stringy and they're tiny. They look like little heroin junkies compared to the deer up here.
Yeah, but then if you hit a moose or something up there, like it's going to, even if you're in a semi, it's going to cause some problems.
It messes you up. An elk, that's a 250, 300 pound animal that you just hit with a car. Like, that's insane.
Well,
There's
a
no way you're
moose,
a car is gonna stand. Moose even worse.
because they got those, you got to think about how strong those moose are. Like, whenever, is it meese? Do you call them meese
No,
or moose? Just is
it's
moose
moose.
plural?
I
Mooses?
think so. I think it's just moose. I don't know.
Well,
Look, imagine if you hit the
well,
one from the beginning of the Northern Exposure TV show. If you hit that moose, you'd be dead.
all right, but it's goose, and plural of goose is geese.
Geese.
That's why I said meese.
Wouldn't that be the plural of mice? No, you're like that would be mice.
Mice, yeah, mice. Yeah, it is. I
Mouse,
see.
mouse,
The
mice.
English language is just so horrible, by the
It
way.
is.
It
They
is.
create it so people they make it so people can't use it well or too good. We can't talk too good here, Tuddle.
Well, yeah. Well, see, I love that you say that. That's the one thing. Well, like you'll see like on the SEC network, and I'm not trying to like call out Southerners, but like during the
Uh-oh.
during the SEC like network football shows, they were like, "Man, this team's playing really good this year," and I'm like, dude, it's not. They're playing really good. They're playing really well. It just there are so many like Southern things. Like Montana is north, but it also seems kind of like south. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like that there are states that are northern, but they could fit in with the south.
White trash, you're saying? Yeah, that's a nice way of saying that.
Well, I'm not saying
Definitely.
white. I'm not saying white trash. I'm just saying
Well,
like here in the south, we say instead of going to the car, hey, I got to run out to the vehicle.
yeah. Usually the only time somebody says vehicle here is if they got gimmicks out in the car. That's when somebody's like, hey, I'm running out to the vehicle real quick. I'm right behind you.
And I remember for the longest time, like if I wanted to go to the movies, my mom would always say, "Hey, are you going to the picture show today?"
The picture show. That's fantastic.
I remember the first time I used a picture show when I was first started interning with Ron and Fez. They spent an hour busting my balls about saying picture show.
Oh, I bet Ron loved it because those old terms like that. Fuck. Yeah, who the hell says pictures? Say that now, kids would be like, what the fuck are you talking about? Maybe they
Yeah,
even look up from their phone.
moving pictures. And now bringing up the phone thing, back to the Matrix thing. What
Uh-oh.
did you find it interesting that in the trailer everybody was like so glued to their phones and stuff? Do you think that they're going to try to make some type of political or statement, about how people are just, wired into social media?
What do you mean, a movie getting preachy about what's going on in the times? Get out of here, Tuddle. They never do anything like that. Never in Hollywood. We want to
Will
rise above. We want to rise above the oppressed, but we're going to also keep people down at the same time.
will Neo switch genders by the end of the Matrix 4?
Or they find out that he's a woman.
Yeah, or Trinity, was it, Trinity,
Yeah,
they kind of use some de-aging on her, because I've seen
they had
her
to.
as of late. Yeah, she does not look that good in real life anymore, and I'm not trying to be a dick or anything.
Well, they did use some Adobe Photoshop on something, take out some of those wrinkles. How could they not? Again, it goes back to Keanu Reeves is literally a de-aged human. He's the real Benjamin Button, and I don't think we should be studying his blood, because there's something there that everybody's missing out on.
Yeah. All right, Charlie. Well, I just want to thank you for taking the time to join me today. If this is something you're interested in doing, we also got some big plans about you doing your own show on the weekends on the YouTube channel as well, too.
Yeah, I got some ideas for that. And did you even notice that I'm wearing my Tuddle hat?
Oh, no kidding. I didn't even, dude, see, I got a
Yeah,
call. I got a call. My merch guy finally came back from the dead and reached out to me, and I need to contact him and find out what's been going on, because like I really did, like I've been trying to call, got nothing from him.
I love my Tuddle hat, especially because your little mustache. You look like some kind of Italian pimp.
Hey, oh, Viv, what's going on here?
Just not with the voices. Are you going to start doing fictional
Yeah,
characters now?
yeah, I'm gonna start doing. Or let me ask you, if you are in Venice, Italy, do you pick up hookers in a gondola? Like, I'm just asking.
I,
Do you, or are they like swimming in the water and you like pick them up?
I think if you're in Venice, California, you pick them up in a gondola.
All right, Charlie, tell people how they can check you out. Your Twitter is at Real Lame Charlie. What about your YouTube channel and stuff like that?
Well, just subscribe here, because the stuff I'm going to be doing on the weekends will blow that shit out of the water.
All right, Charlie. Well, I appreciate the time, man, and I'll talk to you later, okay?
All right. Thanks for having me on, Tuddle.